Hey, it's Mike. I am back. I am ready. It is a Super Bowl Sunday edition. Is it still Sunday? I guess it's still Sunday for me. All right, let's see. What do we got? We got Dahlia Roberts. Hey, how you doing? Good to see you here. We got N is here. Yes, please like, share, and subscribe, everybody. Please do that. We are going to catch some predators. I'm sure we're going to catch at least, we'll catch at least one or two today, I'm sure. And we're going to have justice for little girls. Absolutely, we're going to get into that. And hey, Don Pearson, good to see you. And Fake Human, good to see you. Let's get right into it. I got some stuff to. I got some updates. I got some videos, and I got new microphone wires. Everything. I think we're good. We're good. Hey, and it's my beautiful daughter. Hey, how you doing? Great to see you. Great to see you in here. And let's get to the opening of the show. This wonderful, wonderful opening. Here we go.
Hello?
Hello.
All right. Hey, thanks for sticking out that opening. Oh man, what a great opening. That's wonderful. All right. And yeah, she's in there. She's snuck her in there. Hey, and it's Greg 7249. Good to see you. Good to see everybody here, man. This is so exciting. So I got an update on this guy. This Chandrasekhar guy. If you remember, I'll show you who he is. He's this guy. So this is the guy that came in to one of my live streams, and he was trying to. He sent an email. So he sent an email about my live streams, and he was asking me, and I was asking about child marriage, and he was avoiding it, and he wouldn't admit it. And then he admitted that he is for child marriage because he considers it Vedic. And then I got an update from someone in the Reddit group who mentioned that he was banned from, this is an allegation, he was banned from the ISKCON Temple in New Zealand because he was trying to marry a 15-year-old girl. Hey, Jai Ganapati, good to see you here. Rafal, good to see you. Of course, I got a lot of your videos, buddy. And of course, running after that Kiwi. So, evidently he was, allegedly he was banned from the New Zealand temple for trying to marry a 15-year-old girl, caused some problems there from the information that I got. And then he also had some issues at the Bhaktivedanta Manor in the UK. That someone said, yeah, that guy was had some problems at the Bhaktivedanta Manor. Inappropriate behavior with some women. Okay, so that's what. So now someone just updated again and said, I wanted to just. I don't know this guy, but so someone here is saying. Someone else wrote in and said, I remember meeting him 6 or 7 years ago when I was in full-on delusion. But even then, something felt off about him. At the time, I might not have been very critically minded towards devotees, but I've been aware of spiritual corruption since leaving the church. Then I noticed him seemingly following me. Mind you, I was about 24 years old at the time, and he was like double my age, definitely a senior. I turned around and half joking asked him, "Are you following me?" He also, in a lighthearted way, went, "You might be following me," which struck me as extremely odd, to the point that I remember it like it was yesterday. I know I wasn't following him, so his reaction seemed really weird. He's his sleazeball. That's probably what he was doing. That's probably why he had problems at some of these other temples, this guy. My parents are Hare Krishnas. Oh, yeah, you're not a Hare Krishna. That's too bad. I'm glad you're not. I'm glad you're able to get out. But I'm sorry to hear about your parents. Hey, Ann. Hey, everybody. Hey, Ann. Yeah, I'm sorry to hear about your parents being Hare Krishnas. So I wanted to continue with this child marriage. Snoggle, great to see you. Great to see you here. I wanted to continue with some of this child marriage because it was brought to my attention. Rafael and I both, he sent me this video, and then I actually came across one as well, and it just blew me away. It just blew me away. But here's this one. Let me see this. Okay, so the title of this video is "Child Marriage is Brilliant," and this is from 2022. From January 30th, 2022. So it was like 4 years ago. This is not a long time ago, and this again is just it reinforces what I say. It just validates what I'm saying. This is a child marriage promoting, and by extension, it's a pedophile cult. And so let's just let's check this out here.
So ultimately, this is due to a complete lack of knowledge of why we're here. Without understanding this point, everything else that the Vedas or the Vedic culture was meant actually to fulfill the ultimate need of the living entity, which is to reestablish his relationship with the Supreme Personality of God. From that point, can you begin to understand every principle that's given ultimately by Krishna through the scriptures, who is our well-wisher. He speaks these points in the scriptures ultimately to help us, guide us in that way. And from a material perspective, we need to live properly so that we can have proper time and mental stability to practice and understand these finer topics of life. So this marriage, which was done at a young age, was to prevent people from having to waste so much time and energy and misuse their human form of life and trying to think about these things that are not really important to the soul itself, like getting married and living some kind of adjustment in this material world. So at a young age, when the hormones weren't fully developed yet, it was best to get children married early on so that they wouldn't have to grow up and be concerned about these things, like maintaining the bodily demands, such as, how to expand your family or whatever the case may be. So those children who needed to get married, or like all women, for example, were, required to have marriage life. So they were married at a young age, so that the burden wasn't on them, so they wouldn't have to think in an unclear state of mind.
Okay, so I want to comment. So first, there's it's kind of like two things going on here. First of all, I'm not even going to touch on the issue of the child marriage that he's talking about. I'm not even going to go there. I'm going to right now. I just want to focus on damn, that dude is a gaslighting creep, following someone and saying they're following him. First I want to point out is like, who is this guy? How old is he? Where's he from? And where's he getting this bullshit from? That he needs to explain that first, because he just sounds like he's talking about he's saying, well, a long time ago. Well, where are you getting this info? Who's teaching you this? Where do you get this from? Because this is not something that is just taught. And I don't know if this guy's Indian. I don't know where this guy's from. He sounds like he's from Brazil or South America, or I don't know, maybe he's from Europe or somewhere. I don't know if he sounds like he's from India. But where's he getting this idea that children got to be married at a young age so that they can focus on other things? There is so much bullshit going on in here. But my main thing is, where is he getting this from? I checked out my microphone, so everything should be working right. So I'm banging everything and going nuts and ranting and raving. You should still be able to hear me. You should be able to hear me. Where is he getting this? Where is he getting this shit from? Because he's not making it up. And I've been saying for a long time, since I started doing this shit, that they're all for this child marriage, and that they know it. It's in there. It's like it's covert, it's overt, it's subliminal, it's all those things. Well, where's he getting this idea from? I don't know. Did he hear this in a lecture? Did he read this in a book? What is his guru telling him this?
When the body was developed and have to hunt out for men, like is happening now, and due to the Western influence, women have to look for men versus they were helped and guided by their parents according to scriptures, so that they can actually focus.
He's talking as if he knows, like he was there, and he watched these children. He doesn't know what he's talking about. He's just repeating some bullshit that he's read or that someone's told him. This is the brainwashing. This is how they brainwash people into being pedophiles, into being child molesters, into child marriage. This guy believes that child marriage, he believes this crap about 12-year-old girls, 19-year-old men or boys, whatever they want to call them, right? They're not boys, they're 19-year-old men, 12-year-old girls, either 80-year-old men and 16-year-old girls. I mean, what? Seriously, this is what they're teaching this guy? Has he been in the movement that long? He's making a video about it. He's got the nerve to put on here, child marriage is brilliant. You know how dense these people are?
On the real duty, the real requirement of the soul, which is to develop his relationship with Krishna. Without that understanding, then everything else doesn't make sense. If you think
there you go with the hand movements again. You see the hand movement? He made that same hand movement. Everything is just nonsense. He's getting all of this shit. The words, the philosophy, the phraseology, the terminology, the grammar, the way he preaches, the movement of the hands. This is all cult bullshit. And when it's that deep, and they're telling people, oh yeah, you can. Prabhupada says 12-year-old wife, there's no problem. And 80-year-old men can have a 16-year-old wife. Yeah, we know exactly where he's getting it from. This shit blows my mind, because it's, again, like I've said for a long time, It's like one of those 3D pictures that you stare at, you don't see anything, and then you stare at it. You stare at it for a long time, and then it pops out at you. And when that shit pops out at you, that's all you can see. You can't see anything else. You don't see anything else. All you see is that thing that 3D image that popped out. Once you catch it, you see it. This shit's insane. People talking about child marriage, like, and here you go. Here's another one. This is another one. I think Rafael sent this one to me. This is Prabhupada talking about child marriage. This is another one. Child marriage is brilliant. It's like they're promoting it. It's like they're trying to convince the world. It's not good enough that they're doing it. They're putting videos on YouTube saying, hey, child marriage is not what you think. It's actually a pretty cool thing.
Marriage, at least in India, at least up to our time, the marriage was taking place not on the liking of the boy and the girl, no. It was decided by the parents.
Yeah, we didn't care. We didn't care. Oh, what did I do? We didn't care. We didn't care if they liked each other or not. Hell, I didn't love my wife, but I raped her until she gave me some kids. I didn't love her though. This is what he wants for the world. The same miserable marriage that he had. I thought he had the Vedic system and it was supposed to be wonderful, but he didn't. But it's not great for. It didn't work out for Prabhupada, but it's supposed to work out for everybody else. What fucking kind of mentality is that? The bare minimum work. Man. The guy's a parrot. The guy's a parrot. And he's talking about that picture looks like Surah. Yeah, I'm going to mention Surah in a minute. I'm glad you're here because I'm going to talk about Surah in a minute. Let me finish this up.
No, just like I was also married man. I was married when I was a student. And I did not know what will be this. But the parents arranged. What to speak of me, I'll give you another very brilliant example.
He didn't mention that his wife was 11 years old. He just skipped right over that. He skipped right over that.
That you have perhaps heard the name of Dr. Rajendra Prasad. He was the first president of India. He has written his biography. He was married at the age of 8 years. Formerly in India the marriage was taking place like that. I know my father-in-law was married when he was 11 years. And my mother-in-law was 7 years. You see?
So he didn't mention that his wife was 11, not in this lecture. He mentions it in private, but he doesn't mention it in this lecture.
Oh, actually the point is that the marriage was taken by the calculation of past, present and future with astronomy, astrological calculation, whether this couple will be happy in their life.
Well, it wasn't like that for him because him and his wife didn't get along. So I guess it didn't work. Why didn't it work out for him and he's a pure devotee? There's a bunch of bullshit. There's a bunch of bullshit. But here they want you to believe that child marriage is brilliant. And Prabhupada's talking about it. Child marriage. Yeah, I was my father-in-law, my wife. Yeah, let's just marry these kids off. It's disgusting. It's friggin' disgusting. Uh-oh. Ta-da. Okay. So, okay, so it looks like Sirida. So I was mentioning that Prabhupada says that an 80-year-old man can have a 16-year-old wife. And I just want to say, a lot of these guys like Nar Narayan, here's another example of one. Let me see. Here's another example of this guy. This I don't know if I can get his picture up here. Shruta Kirti. I don't know if any of you know the Shruta Kirti character. The guy's got to be close to 80 years old. He's got to be like 75, 80 years old. And he married this young wife, this young Russian woman. She looks to be like probably in her 20s. She's probably in her 20s. And I'm not saying he can't do that. I'm not saying that's wrong. But all of these guys, like Narayan, they're like 70, 80 years old, and they find the youngest wife they can. Sura was one. I remember when Sura he divorced his wife. He had like 2 or 3 kids. I think he had 2 kids and a baby. And then next thing I know, he's got this young. I don't know. She looked like she was in high school. She was moved in. She moved in with Sura, and so you had Narayan with his young Rupa Manjari, a 23-year-old wife, and he was like 70-something years old. You had the Shruta Kirti with his young wife, and I believe, and I'm just saying this. I can't prove it, but I have my feelings that if Narayan could have married a 12 or 13-year-old girl, he would have. And if Shruta Kirti could have found a 12 or 13-year-old wife, he would have married one too. And if Sura could have got a 12 or 13-year-old wife, he would have got one too. But they couldn't. So they got the next best thing, which was like 18, 19, whatever. And that is because Prabhupada says that an 80-year-old man can have a 16-year-old girl, and then they all laugh about it. They're all laughing about it. This is where they're getting this idea from. I am in the middle of a huge storm. Huge storm is going on. So if I cut out, I apologize. Aviator Lochan, what do you think of Bhakti Marg? I don't know, if he's in ISKCON, I think he's a child molester. That's what I think. Prabhu Nuts, greetings. Hey man, how you doing? Good to see you. Yeah, if he's in ISKCON, he's a predator. I don't know what else to tell you. That's it. Yeah, he's meditating on kiwi. That's all. He wants some kiwi. He's looking for that kiwi. Okay, so we did. There's another one. There's another one here. Let me see if I can find this. I actually have. I'm not going to do this. Let me get rid of this. Okay. So here. So we know that these guys that are looking for these young wives, they're getting it from these old timers. They're getting it from their gurus. They're getting it from guys like this. Hey. Oh, the Bhakti Marga, another organization. Well, I don't know anything about it. If it's another organization, I couldn't tell you anything about it. But if they're following Prabhupada's books, they're reading Prabhupada's books, and they believe in this bullshit from Prabhupada's books and child marriage, then they're just another pedophile cult. That's it. I can't. I don't have time to dissect every single guru and what they're teaching. But if they're using Prabhupada's books and they're teaching about Ramananda Roy and Krishna stealing the gopis' clothes and child marriage, then I put them all in the same basket. That's what I do. So if you know more about them than I do, then you could probably figure it. You could you could probably figure it out. But this child marriage is being propagated by people like this because he's going to talk about how he talks about how how the Vedas are real and the scriptures are this and that. I'm not going to listen to this crap. Okay, here we go.
Size.
It was guapito este consejo.
It was. Awesome.
Okay, anyway. So, first let's look at the words and we'll chant them. Nirguna. Means without, that actually means without material qualities.
Yeah.
So, oh, is there a little bird in the room?
I just want to say, let me get on screen. I just want to say that this guy is no different than this Guru Hare. This guy thinks that he is giving these people some kind of transcendental knowledge, and that simply by them sitting there in front of him and being in his presence, because he's somehow connected to this scam pradaya, this fraud para, whatever you want to call it, and he's reading from these made-up books that are just nothing but fairy tales and bedtime stories that promotes child marriage and pedophilia, that he's somehow a guru and they are somehow getting enlightenment from him. This guy's sitting there in his black, sweatshirt and his jeans and whatever, his khakis. He really thinks he's some kind of super Hindu. He's some kind of super white Hindu. He's better than all the other Hindus. He's the real deal Hindu because he went to Harvard. And yet he's got disciples running around trolling for 15-year-old wives. Being inappropriate with women at Hare Krishna temples. Evidently the guy's got a reputation. And I've shown his videos before. This guy's disciple, his number one head disciple, is a guy that wrote to me and told me about his child marriage and how it's Vedic. It's Vedic this and Vedic that. And how I don't understand Hinduism. And he understands it better because he's got a degree from some university. And his guru is this Harvard dumbass Goswami. This guy.
So nirguna, basically that's how, like in ISKCON language, we would say something like beyond the material platform or transcendental. That's one of the ways in Sanskrit you say transcendental, nirguna, without material qualities. So even though nirguna, api, he means so even though.
So he wants to act like he's not ISKCON like Guru Hare does. Meanwhile, he's reading from their books, his book that he wrote for ISKCON, that he translated for them, his books, his guru, all this shit. It's all the same. It's all the same crap. That's why you can't believe that it's a different organization or it's a different this. It's all the same bullshit. All the same bullshit. I love it, man. That says it all. That says it all right there. He borrowed his stuff from Crazy Turtleneck Tom Cruise. He's a top gun. He's top guru. He's a top guru. The real yogis in India are the ones that live in a hut or cave, happy with their. I know, that's what I said about the guy that I met in the cave at Dale Prayag. He's just like a guy in a cave with his lamp and his kitri, and that's it. And he ain't got nothing. And they want to. You want to talk shit about these Radha Kun Babajis or any Babajis. Prabhupada always wanted to put these guys down. Well, they're just there doing their thing, and they're not hurting nobody, and they're just there like the guy in this picture with me and my daughter sitting there, and the guy's just sitting he's just sitting by the pond, and he's got his little thing there, and he's doing his own little thing, and he's not asking anybody for anything. He's not selling books. He's not trolling for disciples. He doesn't got a bunch of little girls around him like Indra Yumna Swami. He doesn't have a bunch of little boys around him like some of these other guys. He's just doing his thing. He's just sitting there doing his thing. And he was nice enough that I was able to take a picture with him. But he didn't ask me for nothing. He didn't ask me for a thing. He didn't. I think I gave him some money, like a donation. I think I gave him some money or something. But he wasn't like he didn't care. He didn't care. It's like this guy. If this guy didn't have a bunch of people sitting around him and he was reading, he wasn't being Mr. Guru, he wouldn't give a fuck about all this shit. Because he's been to Harvard. He knows. He's been to Harvard. You can't tell me he believes this crap.
Nirguna. He indeed.
This is his job.
Ajo.
This is his job.
That means Krishna, the unborn. Aja. Avyakta, unmanifest. Bhagavan, the Lord. Prakrite Paraha.
This is his job, and it's the cushiest fucking job in the world. Not only does he get money for doing nothing, money for nothing and chicks for free. Not only does he get money for nothing, but he gets worship. He gets he's almost like he's like a rock star without the rock. He doesn't even have to do that. He doesn't even have to he doesn't even have to do Mick Jagger shit. He just sits in a chair and reads a stupid book. Yeah, it's an instruction in the Gita to find a secluded place. I know, it's like, and the other thing, that I was going to mention about Shuddha Kirti and Naranarayan and Sura, and these guys are like 70, 80 years old, and yeah, hold on a second. These guys are like 70 years old. So why aren't they just in the renounced order? Like, okay, so your marriage didn't work out, and now you're 65, 70, 75 years old. Why do you need a wife? Why does Shuddha Kirti need a wife? He's been married like 3 times. He's got grown kids. I met his daughter. I think he's got twin daughters, and they're grown. They're probably like 50 years old now. One of them worked at ITV when I was working at ITV, and she told me, she said, "Yeah, my dad is Shuddha Kirti. Maybe you've heard of him." And I was like, and I didn't really know who he was. I'd heard of him. I'd heard his name, but I didn't really know who he was. And she was telling me, "Oh yeah, he used to do this, and he did that, and he was this, and he was that," and so then later on, I found out who he is. So it's like, okay, so you've been married a couple times, you've got grown kids. You're 80 years old? Why do you need a 20-year-old? Why do you need a 20-year-old Russian wife? When Krishna consciousness is supposed to be so perfect and so everything that you're supposed to just go off to the forest or just be on your own. No, they can't do that. They can't do it. Like, this guy can't do it either. What is this? I'm sorry. What was this verse? Satisfying her, giving her ornaments, nice food and clothes, and engaging her in religious activities. That verse. 9 times last year.
Beyond Prakriti. Another thing, we would probably say something like transcendental. So, para, beyond Prakriti. Within the universe without any change in his spiritual body or spiritual qualities. Indeed, he is never influenced by the material qualities. He is always free from such qualities, but he appears to act under material influence. Because if everyone in the world is affected by these modes of nature, and you see someone come to the party and it looks like they also have a body like you because you're seeing through material eyes, that you just assume that they do what everybody else does that has a body. In fact, the very notion of a spiritual body is it's not really within the conceptual repertoire.
This guy went to Harvard. I just can't get over the fact that this guy went to Harvard, and he believes this stuff. I mean, there's a few videos that explain how religious people can go to college and get an education and still believe in their scripture. They still believe that there was Noah's Ark, parting the Red Sea. Krishna appeared 5,000 years ago in Vrindavan. Who knows all these things? People, rising from the dead. These kind of things. But if you think about it, and you think, well, what about all the things that the pharaohs believed over time? Pharaohs, the Greeks, the Romans, even before them, the Babylonians, the Mesopotamians, the Sumerians, the Vikings. They all believe their stuff, but we don't even consider any of those things. Seriously, we don't. If you go to Harvard, nobody's teaching a class, on the idea that these ancient Sumerians or what, I forget what they're called. Those old civilizations, some of their scriptures, their writings, their stories are real. And they really happened. Like this guy wants you to believe. You don't go to Harvard, get a degree in anything of substantial knowledge like archaeology or sociology or psychology or sociology or psychology or history or the history of language, linguistics, or even what he says, hermeneutics or hermeneutics or whatever it is, the study of scripture. You don't get a degree and learn all that stuff and then believe in these stories about demon heads eating the moon. You just don't. You just don't. You don't go to Harvard, come out dumber than when you went in. I'm just saying, you just don't. He's in Clark Kent mode. Clark Kent mode. That's funny. Hey, so far so good. I'm having no audio problems. That's great. Okay. ISKCON is somewhat okay with marriage. Gaudiya Math is not. They brainwash you with the rhetoric that marriage is a dark well and you should avoid it at all costs. Well, ISKCON says the same thing. I mean, Prabhupada says that in his books. Prabhupada says in his books that we should avoid marriage and we should avoid women. That we should just avoid them. And it's only if you can't avoid them, you can't control yourself, then you can just take a wife and then throw her away. I mean, I absolutely know that that's what I was taught when I was reading Prabhupada's books. But I mean, they are, you can get married in ISKCON and everything. I guess Gaudiya Math is they frown on getting married. What do the women do? I mean, I don't know. What do the women do? What do the women do? They just don't get married and then. Yeah, just don't. Yeah, just don't do it. The moon is visually to our eyes the same size as the sun in the sky, but not true at all, like flat Earth. I know these guys had, Prabhupada's teaching all of this nonsense, and then he wants, and then he wants child marriage to be taken seriously. And then you got guys like this that are given a green light to it, who act all knowledgeable, like he's Mr. Brainiac guru guy. And he's got his number one disciple is this guy running around looking for a 15-year-old wife and being inappropriate with women. Well, what is that? What is that? That's his number one disciple. Let me see. Where's no? Trying to find. Now I can't find this guy. I guess he's gone. He What does it say here? Okay. What happened to these old guys following Vanaprastha, Varnashram, and taking Vanaprastha at age 50 to 75? Yeah, exactly. I mean, and then, that's what I said. That's what I didn't say it to Yashoda, but that's what I was thinking. That's what I wanted to say to Yashoda. It's like, you're preaching all of this stuff about being a Swami, and you were a Swami. You're Yashodanandan Swami. Everybody, when I mention his name, everybody's like, oh. Even in here, people are like, oh, you're the mean Swami, or that guy, this guy. Everybody know who Yashodanandan was, and he's preaching just like these other guys preaching, like Harvard dumbass goes Swami. He sit there and read and lecture and do his thing, and then and I'm like, why are you getting married? And he gets married. He's got a wife. And I'm like, well, that's not what Prabhupada said. That's not what Prabhupada says. So why is it, and Narayan, all of these guys, This, at Vanaprastha's for someone else. Yeah, I think Prabhupada's simply contradicting himself, delusional on snuff most of the time. I wonder how much he snuffed while on the Jaladuta. Well, he couldn't get any while he was on there. Well, maybe he did. Maybe it was pretty common. Maybe it's pretty common. It's easy to get. Maybe it was easy for him to get it back then. Maybe he had a pretty good supply. I don't know. That's pretty funny. But yeah, he contradicted himself a lot of times, or he would be vague, or he would tell. I know he told one devotee, "Oh, you don't have to. You can take Vanaprastha, but you can be Vanaprastha with your wife at home. You don't necessarily have to go to the forest." And I think he was telling that devotee, and then it just gets turned into, well, we don't have to do that. Prabhupada says we can do it at home with our wives. The women in the Gaudiya Mata are all spiritual narcissists. They're single, bitter, and bereft. It's very sad to be a woman in this cult. It is very sad to be a woman in this cult. Let's take a look. Let's take a look at one. Since you bring it up, let's take a look at one.
We are really, really delighted to have with us all the way from Vrindavan, India, Her Grace Narayani Devi. Narayani Devi is joining us, as I said, from Vrindavan, and I just wanted to kind of start off by letting our viewers know that we are going to try our best, but tech issues being what they are, and Vrindavan being what it is, there is some chance that we might have some interruptions due to power cuts, and so we may need to just bear that in mind and tolerate that a little bit. But if that happens, Narayani Devi will try her best to get right back on as soon as she has power again. and join us again. But let's dive right into it. And again, Narayani Devi, we're so grateful to have you with us. Thank you for making the time. We are in some wild times for anyone at all connected to the issue of Vaishnavi Diksha Gurus, or female Diksha Gurus, as it's sometimes said, in ISKCON. We've already talked about in an emergency pod episode a few days ago. We've already talked about some of the issues and perspectives, but we especially wanted to talk to you to get a real like insider's view. And as some of our viewers may know, but perhaps not everyone, so let me state this at the outset, and please correct me if I'm wrong, but you are a GBC recognized Vaishnavi Diksha Guru in ISKCON, and you have given initiation to disciples. You do have disciples under the blessings of and under the auspices of the GBC. That's correct?
That is correct. I'm on the list of gurus if you look up on the website.
So you are.
Yeah, you bring up a good. That was the longest introduction I've ever heard. She looks like she would dish out some good rice. Now, hey, can you imagine? Can you imagine going to this lady and asking her for some rice? And she's like, here's some rice. And then you take it back, and then you got to go commit suicide because you did something wrong. Does that look like a woman? And they want to say they want to say that that he, Chota Haridas, he looked lustfully at a woman. Can you really look lustfully at an elderly Vaishnavi like this? I mean, is there anything lustful about an 80-year-old Vaishnav who's wrapped up in a sari? Is there even a chance that he looked lustfully at her? No, he was just getting some good rice from the old lady, and next thing you know, he's jumping in the river, committing suicide over that's insane. That's insane.
On the list of gurus recognized in
Diksha
ISKCON, let's say Diksha Gurus
yes,
recognized
there's a
in
whole
ISKCON.
list.
Yes.
Whole list is there,
Yeah.
and I'm on it.
Yeah. So this is kind of an exclusive, right? Because again, we hear so much about this issue, but why not hear it from, I was going to say from the horse's mouth, but that's perhaps not the most respectful comparison to draw, but why not hear it from the person who is, or one of the people really kind of on the ground, for whom this is not theoretical, but a lived reality. So for that alone, we're so grateful to you, Narayani Devi. I wanted to start perhaps by again acknowledging you're joining us from Vrindavan, India.
Yes, that's
and
true.
you reside in India, correct?
I have been living in India for 53 years.
For 53 years. The reason I bring that up is one of the things we've been talking about is how often this issue gets framed as an issue of a culture clash between ISKCON in India and ISKCON in the West. And the narrative.
53 years. This woman has spent her entire life in this cult. And I find it to be really, really sad. I mean, 50 years in Vrindavan. So, she's been in the movement a lot longer. Granny. Granny Gangster Guru. And, she knows all about the child marriage. She knows about the little girls being married to these grown men. She knows about these grown men marrying little girls. She knows about these gurus molesting boys and girls and these kids being beaten, all of this stuff. And she's like, I'm okay with it. I mean, what do you want me to do? I'm a guru. What do you want me to do? I got my rice. I'm getting my good rice, I give my lecture. You want me to what? You want me to make a big deal over that?
Is often presented that overwhelmingly devotees in India, we can unpack what that means, whether that means Indian devotees ethnically or devotees living in India or both. But anyway, the narrative is that devotees in India are staunchly against the idea of Vaishnavi Diksha Gurus or female Diksha Gurus in ISKCON. They see it as scandalous. They see it as
And we were
inappropriate.
both
They see it
laughing.
as breaking with Vedic norms. And devotees in the West are overwhelmingly in favor of it. And so really what we have is a culture clash. You've got some thoughts on that, and you want to push back against that narrative, if I'm not mistaken. So please, the floor is yours. Let's start there. What do you think about that whole framing?
Well, the first thing is that this is not an issue of India versus the West. And first, I'll offer our obeisances to all the Indian leaders, many of whom are my friends.
No, it's men versus women. It's not East versus West. It's men versus women. But the main thing I would say is, does she look like she's had a happy life? Does she look like she's happy? Does that look like someone who's had 50 years of?
And all the GBCs, many of whom are my friends, also and are supporting me. So people. Yesterday, one congregational devotee said to me that, I'm surprised that this is happening. I feel that 99% of the Indian congregation doesn't know what's going on. They are not.
Women are not happy in this movement. You can't. I don't think I've ever seen a woman except for the Russian ladies who don't know what the hell they're doing. I have never seen a woman that's happy in this movement. They just look miserable. They look friggin' miserable. Yeah, I was laughing so hard. I was laughing so hard at the good rice that I knocked my green screen down. 53 years in India. Well, it explains everything, really. Gangster Granny knows everything about everyone. Basically, the GBC had no choice but to rubber stamp her. Yeah, really. They were like, okay, just to keep her quiet, keep her from spilling the beans. They like under the table. They're like, go away. That's exactly. When a husbandless woman is attacked by an aggressive man, she takes his action to be mercy. Yeah, and that's the thing. That I'm glad you brought that up, because that's the thing, is like you can find those kind of quotes and those kind of things all throughout the books. You just got to search, and that's the great thing about the Veda base. Is like you could type in husbandless woman, or you type in a phrase or a word, and then just scroll through it and find it. And it can take some time, but and then you'll find these type of quotes, because there's thousands of them. There's thousands of these things. That's why I'm saying, like I don't have a bunch of shit memorized. I'm no guru. I'm no Harvard dumbass Goswami. I can't sit there and Nirguna means this and whatever. I can't do all that. But I know what I read. I know what I read. I know what I've heard. I know what I've watched. I've watched every friggin' Prabhupada lecture that on video that there is. I had the whole set, and I watched those things. I had them on VHS. That's how long. That's what. When I first got them, they were on VHS, and then they came out on DVD. And I was working at ITV, and I watched everything that ITV had, including those movies and the cartoons, all of that stuff. So I know what's in there. I might not be able to pull it all out. I don't have it all like just right there, and I can. But I know what I read. I know what's in there. So this thing about women and men and being submissive and mercy and all of that stuff. Yeah, I know. There's so much of that stuff in it. Gangster Granny looks like she has a mustache. She's a dude, a plant. Gangster Granny over here. She's She's totally, she's totally gangster. She's totally gangster, man. That's funny. But yeah, the women are just not happy. I haven't seen, hardly ever see any women that, well, I haven't seen any women that look happy. But here's one that Rafael sent. I think Rafael sent this one. And it's just that cult bullshit that they told us when we joined, when we were in there. And it's such bullshit now, when we hear it now. Here you go. When I joined in 75, I was chastised for walking around looking happy. KC is serious business, I was told. Yeah, I was told that too. See, when I wasn't walking around looking happy, but I was making jokes. I was making jokes and shit, just like I do now. But I was trying to be respectful. I was trying to be respectful and be, I didn't want to be offensive, but I would make jokes about stuff. And I was told, we don't do that. We don't do that. And it was really frustrating. It was really frustrating. It was frustrating because I wanted to have a good time. I wanted to have fun and just, chant, and it's flowers and incense and it's fun. And it's just crazy. I bought loads of ISKCON VHS tapes back in the 90s. Yeah, I had my friend Beer Lakshman, he had the whole set. And then I ended up with him. And then I ended up working for ITV, and I had access to everything. I mean, I was right there where everything was. Joking and degrading. Yeah, I could not. I could not joke around. It was frustrating for me. It was frustrating for me.
हरे कृष्ण, आप सभी का स्वागत है फिलोसॉफिकल सीरीज में। मैं हूं श्री चैतन्य चंद्र दास। तो जब श्रील प्रभुपाद सबसे पहले गए थे अमेरिका और उधर प्रचार शुरू किया था, तो काफ़ी सारे लोग आने लगे और श्रील प्रभुपाद के इस आंदोलन में जुड़ने लगे। और काफ़ी सारे लोगों का बैकग्राउंड था हिप्पी बैकग्राउंड, लेकिन वो आके सेवा करते थे क्योंकि प्रभुपाद के ऊपर इतना विश्वास था, तो वो जुड़ने लगे, जप करने लगे। कुछ लोगों ने दीक्षा भी ली और कुछ लोगों ने ब्रह्मचर्य आश्रम भी ज्वाइन कर लिया, कुछ सन्यासी भी बन गए। तो प्रभुपाद का जो आंदोलन था बहुत बढ़ने लगा था, काफ़ी सारे लोग जो थे उसमें जुड़ने लगे थे इनिशियली 1966, 1967, 1968 में। लेकिन बाद में ऐसा हुआ कि कुछ जो थे भक्त जो
This is like legend, right? This is like the legends, all the stories, the legends of Prabhupada and the legends of how things happen. He's hearing it like third hand. It's like his guru heard it from someone who actually was there, and now he's repeating it as if he was there.
उन्होंने फुल टाइम ज्वाइन किया था। कुछ सन्यासी भी थे सैफरन पहन के, लेकिन कुछ कारणों की वजह से कुछ लोग छोड़ने लगे और वो भक्ति छोड़ के जा रहे थे।
Due to some karma. So due to some karma, people started leaving. That's how they want to explain it. It was due to some karma. It's not that people like woke up or no, of course not. It was due to their karma.
तो बाकी के भक्तों को आश्चर्यचकित हो गए वो कि कैसे क्या कोई ये भक्ति को कृष्णा कॉन्शियसनेस जो मिला है इतना अनमोल हीरा, उसको छोड़ के कैसे क्या जा सकता है कोई। तो एक व्यक्ति थोड़ा बहुत ही डिस्टर्ब हो गया, श्रील प्रभुपाद के शिष्य, और वो प्रभुपाद के पास आके बोलने लगा कि ये जो थे कुछ लोग छोड़ के गए, वो तो इतने सीनियर भक्त थे, वो सन्यासी थे, वो कैसे छोड़ के जा सकते हैं। हाउ कैन समबडी लीव कृष्णा कॉन्शियसनेस, आई एम सो सरप्राइज। ऐसे इस व्यक्ति ने श्रील प्रभुपाद को पूछा कि कैसे क्या कोई भक्ति का मार्ग छोड़ के जा सकता है।
If anyone could end up leaving Krishna consciousness like a sannyasi or a guru or someone like that, could Prabhupada leave Krishna consciousness? They should have asked Prabhupada, should we be surprised that you're staying? Should we expect you to leave one day? Because maybe you're going to leave one day. If all of these devotees who are doing the same thing you're doing, and one of them bloop, maybe you can bloop too. Oh no, I'm a pure devotee. Well, but you said he was a pure devotee. You said Kirtanananda was a pure devotee. You said Jayatirtha was a pure devotee. You said all of these guys were pure devotees. And then they're gone. And then you give some excuse for why they can, well, anybody can, due to their karma. So if it's due to my karma, then why should I do this? Why should I go all the way up to the ladder if that last rung could be broken? What good is climbing? What good is me doing all this work to get to the top if I'm not guaranteed to get to the top?
How some can live this path of Krishna consciousness? प्रभुपाद ने बहुत ही डीप गहरा उत्तर दिया. प्रभुपाद ने बोला कि डोंट बी सरप्राइज दैट सम आर लिविंग, बी सरप्राइज दैट सम आर स्टेइंग. कि इतना आश्चर्यचकित मत हो.
Bullshit. That's a bullshit answer. That's a bullshit answer. That's like if you go to a. That's like if you. That's like if you go to a carnival and they're like, step right up and win this, and throw these darts at this balloon, and you're going to win this prize. And you're like, well, how come I don't see anybody walking around with a prize? And they're like, oh, no, you don't worry about that. You're going to win. I know it. I can feel it. You're going to win. Don't worry. You're going to win. You gotta be delusional. You gotta be delusional on steroids. You gotta be delusional on steroids. Whoa, where am I? I think she's married. She doesn't look too miserable. Who knows though? Yeah, she's kind of got a little bit of a smile on her face. There's a little bit of a smile. Not much. I mean, really not much. I love Krishna. He's a vibe, okay? I dig the mantras like Kirtan's, but bhakti is not a business. Pedophiles should not be gurus, and women are not slaves. Okay, so then you're not into the bhakti, really. You're not really into the bhakti, because bhakti is about women being controlled by men, little girls being married off at 12 years old, racism and sexism. That's what bhakti is all about. So you're not really into bhakti. You're not really into bhakti. You just like the kirtans and you like the mantras. But you're not into bhakti, because bhakti is about controlling women and marrying little girls. That's what bhakti is all about. Bring back the Shakti baby, down with pathetic patriarchy. Yeah, that's whatever. Whatever. I think you know what this channel is about. No. Prabhupada says man has to be older, has to be at least 5 years older than the woman. At least 10. He says 10, 11 is best. 12 years old, 21, 22-year-old man. 12-year-old girl, 22. No way can the woman be older than the man. Are you crazy? Prabhupada says in the conversation. Prabhupada says in this conversation right here somewhere, I don't know where. Prabhupada says in this conversation, the man has to be older. Somewhere he says, I don't know. That is minimum age means generally the husband must be older than the wife, at least 5 years difference. And that's when he says, man has no maximum. Even an 80-year-old man can marry a 16-year-old girl, and they all laugh. And then right after that, he says, because this one devotee has a daughter 12, and he wanted to marry her to a man 26, but he thought that was too much. This is one of the greatest conversations right here. This is in February 27, 1977, where Prabhupada is explaining how to marry this 19-year-old man to this 12-year-old girl. And he's saying this is the Vedic system. It's the Vedic system. Vedic system, Vedic system. This is where they're getting it from. This is why Shuddha Kirti he has no problem marrying this young, he's not doing Vanaprastha when Prabhupada says an 80-year-old man can marry a 16-year-old girl. Vanaprastha, what are you, crazy? I got a 16-year-old girl. Go to the forest by myself, 16-year-old girl. Vanaprastha, 16-year-old girl. Vanaprastha, 16. Well, you got to be out of your mind. Prabhupada created like his own little Epstein Island. Prabhupada had his own little Epstein Island going on. We got to marry these little 12-year-old girls off. Bring these guys in. Now you can see why Indra Yumna Swami has got all these women all around him all over the place. He's trying to attract guys to come be his disciples so they can get themselves a little girl. And prove me wrong. I don't know. Prove me wrong. That's what I say. Hey, how you doing, Eliana? Good to see you. The moderator's here. All right, I'm a new moderator. You're busy chanting your 64 rounds of Bhakti Venmo, Bhakti Venmo, Bhakti. You're doing RT. That's funny. Prabhupada was a degenerate. I like that one. That's a good one. We should have that on a T-shirt. Let's see what else we got. We got some more videos here. Because now I'm just gonna go through some videos. The child marriage is a given. It's a given. I shouldn't even have to bring it up anymore. I shouldn't even have to explain it. I shouldn't have to. But there's always going to be people that come in here and say, "What are you talking about, child marriage? You're." And I don't have. Okay, so let's look at this. Let's look at some of this insanity. This is another one that Raphael sent me. Let's take a look at this. A little bit of this.
This is the daily worship that I perform of His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. The murti that I have, as you see there on the altar.
And this is why I say he's no different. This guy's no different than Gaurahari. This guy is no different than Gaurahari. Gaurahari is giggles and laughs and does his thing, and this guy is going to worship this pedophile. And this Hari Sari knows that he wrote about Prabhupada doing snuff in his book. He wrote about Prabhupada doing snuff. So he knows firsthand all about Prabhupada and what he was doing. Oh yeah, you missed the gangsta granny. You're gonna have to watch the replay because we've moved on to this guy now. We're watching this guy.
Small 6-inch murti. He was given to me in 1989 by His Grace Indra Prabhu, and I've been worshipping him since Prabhupada's disappearance day in 1989. So this is the daily worship that I perform. Here I'm just setting up the bathing utensils, the massage utensils, and also the utensils for a small arti at the end. After inviting Srila Prabhupada to his seat, then I undress him.
It's playing with dolls. It's playing with dolls. This guy. First of all, he thinks he's a holy man, and he thinks that doing this is what makes him holy. He thinks that by doing these little rituals, remember Nidhi Cult Lady, wacky rituals, he thinks that by doing this, that somehow he's a holy man. He's a holy man. Because he's worshiping a little statue of this failed chemist, pedophile, guy who married an 11-year-old girl. He was 22 years old. He's a pure devotee, but he didn't think of like maybe he should marry this 11-year-old girl because it's Vedic and it's okay, and he can have an 11-year-old wife. He was 22 years old. He wanted an 11-year-old wife. It was Vedic. He didn't care that he didn't care that he was a pure devotee and he was in the sampradaya and all of this stuff. He didn't care about all that. He wanted his 12-year-old wife. And, you know, that acharya business, that'll come later. Right now, I got to get down with the 12-year-old. I got to get down with the 12-year-old. That's you know, first things first. That's what we always say, right? First things first.
Then I begin to massage him. I follow the same procedure that I did when I was massaging Prabhupada's physical body. We begin with his head using sandalwood oil. After massaging his head,
Oh, you gotta give me a break. You gotta give me a break. He's like, ooh, 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 ooh. I don't know.
then I massage the rest of his body with mustard oil. And there's a specific order. First of all, his back, and then after that, proceeding on, I do his chest, then his right arm.
Yeah. What does he think he's doing? What does he think he's doing? He's like, I'm massaging this little brass. I'm massaging this little brass Prabhupada doll, exactly the way that I used to massage Prabhupada himself. So does he think that Prabhupada is feeling this, or somehow it's massaging the doll is what's going through his mind? I mean, is he really? I mean, I got to think that maybe this guy is nuttier than Gaurahari. Gaurahari is like giggling and laughing and. I mean, I don't know. I don't know which one's worse. I don't know which one is. I mean, Gaurahari probably does this same thing. I mean, he probably wants his people to has a little Gaurahari. He's like, the little Gaurahari Murti is like, and then he like changes the snot rag, whatever. Like, it's crazy. It's insanity.
Then his left arm, then his right leg, and then his left leg, finishing with his lotus feet.
I want to buy a life-size rubber Prabhupada Murti and drive it around town in my car. Yeah, you can go through you can get in the diamond lane. You can get in the carpool lane. You can take him in the carpool lane. It's too funny. Even more explicit than a foot fetish. Hey, you know, he's not gonna. I hope he doesn't give him a happy ending. That's one of the things I don't want to see. I don't want to see. Uh-oh, the happy ending's coming, I think.
The mustard oil.
Oh no!
Into his body. It mixes with the.
I gotta censor this.
Tilak that's been applied on the previous day. That becomes a very fine paste.
I gotta censor this. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, everybody.
Keep.
He's gonna give him a happy ending. I gotta cover it up.
Very shiny.
I can't let you see this. Yeah. That's too funny, man. Uh-oh, we're getting. Hey, wait a minute. I got it. No, you can't. I don't want you to see this. You can't. No. This is. I'll get a strike. I'll get a strike on my channel. Yeah, my channel. This is.
After completing the massage, I then place Srila Prabhupada in a silver dish in readiness for bathing him.
Uh-oh. Okay. I don't want you to see this.
After placing Srila Prabhupada on his seat, I have two small deities of Vishnu and Ganesh.
Yeah, I had some too. Hey,
and I also have.
I ain't gonna. I never massaged my deities with oil, but I did give them some water. I did I did give them some water.
When I bathe Prabhupada,
he's gonna blow.
I bathe the two small deities as well as Srila Prabhupada's tooth.
He's got his tooth. He's got Prabhupada's tooth. Oh my goodness. He's got a relic. He's got.
I use a rolled up cloth and dip it into the warm water. Prabhupada always bathed with warm water.
Okay, this is absolute insanity. This is. I'm choking. I'm dying over here. Does he do this every day? Does he do this? Yes, he does this every day. This is his daily routine. He's got his tooth. He's got his tooth. Sickening. It's demented. He said he does this every day. He said he does it every day. This is daily. He's got a relic. He's got a he's got a tooth. He's got a tooth. He's got a relic. Man, it's insanity. It's a total insanity, man. It's total insanity. I mean, I can't. There's no other way. The Prabhupada hot tub. The Prabhupada hot tub. Prabhupada hot tub. Oh, man. You guys are cracking me up. You guys are cracking me up. The Prabhupada hot tub. It's in the hot tub. Oh, my God. There I am. Like the Buddha. You got to brush that tooth. Got to brush that tooth, man. You got to brush that tooth. That gold tooth, that gold missing tooth. He's like, yeah, wait a minute. I'm taking the tooth. I'm taking the tooth. I wonder if Harikesh ran off with the tooth. Only teeth. Only teeth. Wait, they told you had to take cold showers and probably was getting warm water. Yeah, it's a scam. It's a scam. It's always a scam. It's always a scam, man. I'm telling you. So there they are. There he is, the total nutcase. You know what I got?
Has the whole world gone crazy? Am I the only one around here who gives a shit about the rules?
I gotta brush that tooth, man. Yeah, it's like, where's my... I don't know. They needed to vacuum the crap that comes out of Prabhupada's mouth. His fucking anus mouth full of his bullshit. Okay, what's the next video? Okay, so we did this one, right? We did this Harvard dumbass goes to, okay, so we got another one of these. So evidently this is the new thing now. This is Magical Mystery Story Time. Magical Mystery Story Time. Everybody's got to do their story. And this guy's no different.
They have about 2,000.
Let's see.
Hare Krishna. My name is Janardana Krishna Das. I'm currently a brahmachari in America, staying at Krishna Life in Tennessee. I've grown up my whole life in America, and I was born in a state called Pennsylvania. It's in the north, but shortly after that, I moved down to Florida. because they have a nice devotee community there in a town called Alachua. They have about 2,000 devotee. There's families, they have lots of children there, they have schools. Both of my parents are devotees. They joined the Krishna consciousness movement in Europe, both of them. My father, he's American, but he was traveling in Europe, pursuing a career for singing.
Magical mystery story time. Yeah. Oh man, the guy in his statue will put comedians out of business. Oh man, and then so this guy, he's so young. He should run away from this cult. It's so sad. Yeah, he grew up in it. So, like a hostage hostage video. Hostage videos. He grew up in it, so like knitting cult lady said, when you grow up in it, they call that mind rape. You don't know anything else, and that's why I said these children, they have a different experience than what we experience growing. Entering as adults is different than being born in it and growing up in it. And I think even like my daughter, I brought her into it. She was already 6 years old, and so. It wasn't like she didn't know it from birth, and so that I think that helped her break away and just and get out of it, because she wasn't actually born into it. You know, I brought her in; she was already 6. So, but people like this born into it, I think that's a whole nother experience. It's a whole different experience.
He wanted to do this opera singing. They have very good practices and schools for this in Europe. So he was traveling around like that, and in Germany, he met the best kind of opera music. He heard the Harinam Sankirtan party going up and down the streets of Germany, and actually in America also. He used to stay in California, and this is during the 70s. So he would see the devotees actually, but he was just very young. He just thought these are some, crazy people. But he was like a little bit attracted. He saw that these are happy people. He saw they had something different, but it didn't leave so much of a lasting impression. But at this phase of his life, he was very much searching, very much looking for something spiritual, something to really fulfill him. He was going here. He traveled all throughout Europe, but nothing.
So it's like he kind of adopted his father's magical mystery story. He kind of worked his father's story into his story. So it's like one big story. It's like, well, my father was this magical mystery story. And then it kind of rubbed off onto him.
Thing made him happier than Lord Chaitanya's Sankirtan movement. So he joined in Germany. They have a farm there. And he was brahmachari there for about almost 10 years. 10 years he was brahmachari there. Shortly after joining in Germany, he moved to Sweden, because at the time in the 1990s, Europe was kind of the peak of the Krishna consciousness movement. For those who remember, they were top class in temple construction and book distribution and book production, in Varnashram projects.
So I don't know this guy's story. I don't know this guy's story, but just from what I know of this cult, I know what they teach, I know what they do, I know the history. I would say that this guy was born into his dad joined, got married, his dad joined, was in the brahmachari ashram for 10 years, decided he wanted to get a wife, They hooked him up with some woman, some either I don't know how old, but they got him a wife. He had this kid. He probably put this kid in the Gurukula, and he just went on being a Hare Krishna, and this kid grew up in it. And he probably never really had a relationship with his parents or any kind of family. That's probably his story.
And it's because of that, actually, that this Mayapur temple that is now being built, Harikesh Swami at the time, he was very instrumental in getting that project researched and going. So
his dad was a Harikesh disciple. His father was a disciple of the guy that ran off with $8 million and his female therapist, and then just went off to go buy a house in the French Riviera and just said, fuck you to all his to all his disciples, including his dad.
My father, he moved to Korsnäs in Sweden, and he served there editing Harikesh Swami's books and also helping out with the community. And then my mother, she's natively from Austria, which is a small country kind of between Germany, Croatia, Czech Republic, and kind of that area. So her story is even more amazing, and it relates nicely actually to Srila Prabhupada's book distribution, which is my main service right now. She, out of everyone in her family, her whole family, they're very Orthodox Christian, but from a young age, she was interested just randomly in things like...
Amazing, this magical mystery story. This is like the most intricate magical mystery story. I guess when your parents are in it, you've got magical mystery stories just coming out your ass. It's like, well, grandpa did this, and then grandma did that, and then uncle did this, and then uncle did that, and then, oh my goodness, and then, ooh. I know this, instead of looking for a therapist to heal his traumas, he joined the cult that coins on vulnerable people who have mental issues. I know, and that's it. These people, they never get the help. They join this cult, they never get the help they need, especially the people that are abused in the cult, because they're in the cult and they don't get the help they need. They have trauma, they have PTSD, they have issues, they have mental issues from this cult, from all this wacky stuff that they believe, all the things they want them to do, all the just everything. From getting up in the morning and taking a cold shower to drinking warm milk at night and reading the Krishna book before you go to bed, and all the stuff in between. It's mental. And everybody deals with it. Everybody deals with it differently. And some of these people have issues, mental issues already. They're not mentally healthy. They get involved with this shit, and it makes their condition worse, and they never get help. And then they end up like Hot Lips, or they end up like Gora Hari, and you don't know what's going on. It's rocket science gone wrong, man. Rocket science, and then you end up like this guy. You're freaking massaging a little doll with mustard oil, thinking that that's your guru and he's going to take you back to Godhead so you can get the body of an 11-year-old girl and have sex with God. It's just absolutely. Yeah, Jenna Morton. If you're born into it, it's definitely more difficult to leave this crap. Yeah, it's like Knitting Cult Lady said, it's mind rape. Your mind is raped from birth. It's like and it's a good way of putting it, because a lot of these grown kids that have been tortured and abused, they're 40, 50 years old. 40, 50, 60 years old now. Some of these kids that grew up in the Gurukula, in Dallas, in Vrindavan, lived through some of the worst. Some of these kids that lived through some of the worst stuff, grown up, never getting help. And not understanding that it's a cult, not understanding it's something that you can leave, being trapped, mentally trapped, not understanding that you can just leave this. You can just leave. They don't understand it.
Just walk away. There has been too much violence, too much pain. Just walk away, and there will be an end to the horror. Just walk away.
I wonder how much basic education this poor young man has. Probably none. Probably none. And if he did go to school, I wonder, you know, if he paid attention, because he's being bombarded with this Krishna shit. You know, like maybe he says, maybe he says.
Like Indian culture and vegetarianism. I think at 16 years old, she was the first person ever in her family to take up to a vegetarian diet. Most people, they thought that if you don't eat meat, you'll die. But she just out of her own interest, not because anyone was telling her, or it wasn't fashionable like it is now. People go on vegetarian diets or vegan diets. It's very much fashionable now, but previously not so much. People thought that you were crazy. And she actually read a couple versions of Bhagavad Gita, not Srila Prabhupada's, unfortunately, but different commentaries and different scholarly interpretations. But none of them really interested her because they didn't have the real message that Srila Prabhupada was giving. And one day she attended one of these fairs.
He really knows the magical mystery story. He's really got the magical mystery stories down. He's really good on the story.
These expos they have for people that are inclined for spiritual things, and the local Austrian devotees, they had a book table, and they kind of stopped her down, and they were trying to tell her about Bhagavad Gita, and she said, "Oh yeah, Bhagavad Gita, I've read that a couple times. It's not very interesting." And they said, "Oh well, we have this Srimad Bhagavatam, which is like the higher knowledge that comes after the Gita." And they were telling her a little bit about Bhagavatam, and she was.
This whole story, you know, this whole thing about Bhagavatam, and it's got this higher knowledge. It's got this higher knowledge, and the Chaitanya Charitamrita's got even higher knowledge. There's nothing in it. There's no higher knowledge. It's just a bunch of stories about. It's a bunch of fable. It's not even fable. It's like a bunch of Mother Goose stories. There's no knowledge in it. It's like you read it and you're trying to find the knowledge, you're trying to find the info, you're trying to get the spiritual whatever, and it's just, there's just nothing there. It's just stories. And it's all about just chanting. It's just, you know, and people get sucked into it, and you can hear how this guy, it's almost like he doesn't even know what he's talking about, but yet he's got the orange outfit on, and his parents are devotees, so you know he's been hearing this shit his whole life.
I was a little bit interested, but she mostly bought the book because the devotees were pushing her to get it, and she was...
Yeah, she didn't want it. She got conned into it. She didn't even want it. And he's laughing about it. Yeah, they conned my mom into this.
It's like, yeah, anyway, I came here to see other things, you know. I guess I can buy this book just so I can please these people. It probably won't help me anyway, but maybe I can give it to someone, friend, or maybe I'll read it one day. So she got this book, and previously the devotees, they used to take down names, phone numbers, emails, any way by which they could contact people that they met on book distribution. So...
yeah, because they want to coerce you into the cult. It's not enough they just give you a book. It's like they want all your information too, so they can follow up with you. And
she gave them a phone number, again, mostly because they were insistent that, oh yeah, you should give a...
They were pushy and annoying is what they were. They were annoying. And it worked. It worked. You see how it happens? She didn't want the book. They forced her to take the book. Then they're like, give us your email, give us your address. She didn't want to do that. She finally did it just to be nice. They broke her down. They worked her down. And she submitted. She gave in. She's like, okay, I'll buy the book. Okay, here's my address. Next thing you know, she's in it. She marries the other guy who, what'd you say that? She married the other guy. It's fascinating to see how kids are able to see through the BS while adults are buying into it 100%. Yeah, my daughter was like, "Nah, I don't want to do it." I was brainwashed. There was nothing she could do, nothing I could do. I was brainwashed. I had to come to my own conclusion. Thank God I did. His dad is a criminal. His dad is a criminal. Then they trapped his mom. They they trapped his mom. Man, look at this. Typical Prabhu fraud disciples are all criminals. They're all criminals. They got his mom. They got his mom. Man. In Poland, one guy killed himself after Hare Krishna left. Yeah, I'm sure he probably wasn't the only one. It's really sad, and that's what I mean. The damage these people do. First, they brainwash them. Into all kinds of believing all kinds of shit. And then they bounce out or get caught with a little boy or get caught with a little girl and they bounce out with some money or whatever. And then what happens to these people? You get donating to them, worshiping. You got a little statue, a little picture. You got him on your altar. You think he's taking you back to Godhead. Next thing you know, he gets caught with an 11-year-old girl. And then these people need therapy. They're like, I was worshiping this guy, offering flowers and saying prayers. What the fuck is wrong with me? I must be a nut. What mental illness did I have that I was thinking? I mean, everybody handles it differently. Everybody has it. Is he fabricated as he goes along, or is it real? It sounds. I had many sacred dreams when I was celibate brahmachari. They were all wet dreams. Yeah. Did you dream you were a guru? You dream you were a guru? You dream they're provocating you a guru? I met a few book distributors' families. They have the biggest egos you can encounter. Yeah, that's the thing is they start doing some service and they think that they're somebody, they think all they're doing is they're out there shortchanging people and scamming people like this lady. She didn't want the book. She took the book. She bought the book. First she told him, she said, I already read that. They go, well, here we have a different book. She said, I don't want that. And they talked to her and then she took the book. They said, can we have your phone number? Can we have your address, your email, whatever? She didn't want to get it. Then she gave that. Then eventually she became a devotee. It was like that. It worked. It's like that's what it takes, and that's why they do it, because it works. I've never been to Mayapur. No, I have never been to Mayapur. Higher knowledge, Srimad Bhagavatam. I know higher knowledge of what? What higher knowledge? What do I learn? What do I learn? I learn all these stories about Sukadeva Goswami being a fully formed 16-year-old man coming out of the vagina of a woman and then running. Hey, give me a break. That's higher. You want me to believe that? You want me to believe some of these stories that they got about a guy standing for 1,000,000 years on one foot, this and all the ants ate him, and then his soul died, and come on. All of these stories, you want me to believe these things? I mean, this breed of fake monks, they are all the same. Then they start trying to be sweet to children in the temple because they became children. Yeah, I believe it. I believe it. They get that shit. That shit seeps into their head. I'm like, why is this guy wandering around looking for a 15-year-old wife in New Zealand? Why is he being inappropriate with women in England? Why is he sending me emails, and when I ask him if he's down with a child marriage, he doesn't want to answer that. He doesn't want to admit it. He doesn't want to deny it, but he doesn't want to admit it. Yes, absolutely. I agree with you. Their Vedic literature is always their weapon in any situation. It doesn't matter if it's one of the most ancient ones. Clearly, their teachings are not conductive. If they were, why so many fail? That's exactly what I say. You know, Prabhupada couldn't even figure out that Kirtananda was nuts. He couldn't figure out that Jayatirtha was nuts or that Hansaduta was nuts. He couldn't see any character flaws in these guys. He couldn't see any character flaws in any of these guys. He thought they were all pure devotees. They had him fooled with their cosplay. They shaved their heads, they put these robes on, they played the game, and Prabhupada was like, oh yeah, you're a pure devotee. And then telling people to go follow him. Yeah, you should go to New Vrindavan and assist Kirtanananda. Meanwhile, Kirtanananda is a fucking freak, molesting little kids. Prabhupada creating a Gurukula school. He had no business creating a Gurukula school. It was nothing more than a fucked up daycare center with a bunch of freaks running it. And you're going to try and tell me that Prabhupada had spiritual vision? He had any spiritual knowledge? He had any spiritual understanding? He didn't have regular knowledge to open up a school. Well, who the fuck does he think he is? He can open up a school for little kids. Seriously, what experience did he have opening up a school for little kids? He had no degree in child education or psychology. He had no degree in anything. What experience did he have in caring for little kids? A boarding school for little kids? He had no business doing that. What the fuck is wrong with him? And he said, I'll just stick my disciples in there, and they can run it. The guy had to be fucking out of his mind. Pure devotee, my ass. This guy. Get you out of your mind. Oh, what happened? There. Oh my goodness. I'm going nuts here. There we go. I'm back. And I lost my green screen. Okay. Let's watch another video while I fix that. Let's see. Oh, let's get back to this guy. Let's finish up with him.
Phone number, you never know what could happen. And after this, she attended the rest of the fair. She went home. And she took this book and she put it on her shelf. That's all. And she never expected that she would read it, but then about 1 month later, the devotees, they called her up. Like, oh, Hare Krishna, how are you doing? And she's like, oh yeah, doing good, who are you? She's, oh yeah, we met you at this fair. Have you read that book yet? She was like, oh, no, I haven't got the chance to read that book yet. I've been busy, I've been doing this. And then like that, the devotee was like, oh, okay, but maybe next time, maybe in the next couple weeks, you can try and read it. And like this, each month would pass, and at the end of the month, the devotees, they would call her. And each time she would tell them that, no, I've been busy, no, I haven't read the book. And this went on for a couple of months, and she said it got to the point where she was so annoyed with them calling that she was like, I'm going to open this book, I'm going to read 1 or 2 pages, just so I can tell them that I tried reading it, I didn't like it, and you can stop calling me. And she said that from the first page that she started reading, she kept reading for hours and she couldn't stop, because she said that all of the answers to her questions were found within the first canto. They used to distribute as a single book the whole first canto of Bhagavatam. So she said for the next 2 or 3 days she was just reading, and she read the whole first canto of Bhagavatam. And then she was just eagerly waiting for the devotees to call her so she could say, I read the book, tell me more, give me more. So when the devotees called, she was so happy, and they invited her to the temple. And then it took her about 1 year's time to move into the temple, but she also moved into the temple. She was serving as the secretary there in Austria. And then she also moved to Sweden to translate Srila Prabhupada's Krishna book from English to German. And that's where she met my father. They got married there. And then they moved to America because of different circumstances that were happening in the devotional community at the time, and also because, again, my father, he's American, so he had to return because of some passport issues. So that's how I ended up being born in America and not in Europe. But that rigorous time that they spent in Krishna consciousness, my father has almost 10 years training as a brahmachari, and then my mother having so much attachment for Srimad Bhagavatam and for serving the devotees, it was very instrumental in my upbringing. My father, he's no longer alive. He passed away. But up until the very end of his life, he was always chanting, hearing something, reading something, speaking something about Krishna.
That's really sad that his father wasted his whole life in this movement. And, you know, I doubt that because I know my experience in the Hare Krishnas and I know just the history and everything, he probably didn't get to spend too much time with his dad. And that's really sad. And that's really sad. Okay, let's see so Snoggle, what are you saying here? Just curious, as I never took initiation, did you expect your spiritual life to change for the better? What was your actual experience? I did. I expected to feel some kind of change spiritually. I expected to feel something, and I didn't feel anything. It was now you can definitely brainwash. I mean, you can brainwash yourself and say, "Hey, I'm having a good time," but a lot of it is I'm spiritual because I'm getting up in the morning, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, I'm doing all these things that they tell me are spiritual, but it's not. His mom and dad had to fast and chant 1,000 rounds before dad could poke mom for a few minutes to conceive in Vedic. It's the Vedic system, man. It's the Vedic system. I don't mean this to be cynical or to be I don't mean this to be cynical or sarcastic or mean, but I am kind of curious as to the age of his mom. I'm just curious. I am just a little bit curious to know how old his dad was and how old his mom was. I'm just, only because I know that this is what they do, child marriage. This is what they do. So I am Vedic family planning. Yeah, I am. This man reminds me of the famous young fake monks who take sannyas and brahmacharya because their parents are old disciples and need to sacrifice their freedom to save all previous generations. Yeah, I mean, whoever this guy. I mean, this guy. All these guys that are doing this, they're all brahmacharis. You know, they're all like grown men brahmacharis. You know, like in their 20s, maybe late 20s. He sounds just as crazy as the Scientology. I know. I know they are. They are exactly like Scientologists. What I say that the Scientologists are just is Hare Krishna for nerds. Scientology is Hare Krishna for nerds. Yeah, so these monks born in the movement are basically groomed. They're groomed to be celibate monks. Their parents think they're doing the greatest service to them. Yeah, this guy's mind is so messed up. His mind is so messed up. He's wearing this orange, which signifies that he doesn't want to have anything to do with women, which means his mind is already messed up to where he's thinking that women are less intelligent, they have small brains, they like to be raped, they're 9 times lustier than men. You know, they're going to distract him from his spiritual life. It's better not to have anything to do with him. He doesn't want to talk to him. He doesn't want to see him. He just wants to hang out with his brahmachari buddies and go on book distribution. That's where this guy's head is. And I can tell all of that just from that orange outfit that he's wearing. That orange outfit says it all. It says that's exactly what that orange outfit says. Same shit, different taco. Exactly. It is absolutely the same. Yeah, I blooped before I took initiation as well. Never even got close to finding a spiritual master. Yeah, I ended up getting a Ritvik because I felt like these guys were a joke. But the Ritvik ended up being a joke too, so joke was on me, actually. Yeah, higher knowledge of pedophilia. Yeah, higher knowledge of child marriage and pedophilia. So here my daughter is saying that book distro shit was weird to me even as a kid. I didn't understand why the people who gave out more books were considered like upper class and their kids were pieces of shit. It's so damn weird. Well, see, there you go. That's what a 11-year-old girl got out of it from the LA. That's what she saw at the LA Temple. That's what my daughter saw at the LA Temple. That's pretty good. Book distro shit was weird to me even as a kid. I didn't understand why the people who gave out more books were considered like upper class. Yeah, they were. They were the book distributors were they were they were upper class, absolutely. Bedtime stories, man. Pushing that shopping cart of books around Costco parking lot, man. And then Jenna Morton. So true. Book distributors' children are pompous, arrogant, and overall pieces of shit people. Yeah, everybody's got to be somebody. It's so funny, you know. It's got to be this 38-year-old sannyas Rasikanda Maharaj, whose parents forced him to become a monk, was crying his eyeballs out when he took sannyas, but somehow he became so sweet to children in the temple. Man, it is all a game. It is all a game. It's all cosplaying. Like this guy, he's just cosplaying. He's cosplaying as some. He thinks he's super Hindu. It's higher because they were high when they wrote it. I know they were having a people's party. Absolutely. The domino effect ruining people's lives. Absolutely, man. I can't keep up with all your comments. I'm trying to. Another thing, Dad, I think my teacher knew shit was wacky even before me, but she was trapped. She used to talk to me about everybody and told me people were weird. Yeah. You know, that's interesting because, you know, I think a lot of people, more people than we suspect, it's like a job to them, and they know it's wacky, they know it's bullshit, but it's their job, and they've been in it, and they're not leaving, they're not going anywhere, they're just not going anywhere. So they were gaslighting him all his life, so he stayed in ISKCON. Yeah, you know, it is so sad that these people stay in there their whole lives. They stay in their whole lives. They don't know, or they don't care, or they know it's fake. There's only, like the guy says, there's only really two. There's only two options. These gurus and these Gauraharis and these Harvard dumbass Goswamis and these Hare Kesh and Rameshwar and all these guys, they either know it's fake and they're really evil people to mislead and do all this evil shit, or they're just really mentally ill and they believe it. That's it. There's no other explanation. Because they either believe it 100% and they're insane for believing it, and the guy's massaging a little doll and he thinks that little doll is like a voodoo doll somehow. he's either insane or he knows it's a bunch of bullshit and he's just faking it because that's his job, is to mislead people and ruin their lives so he can keep the scam going. And that's how he makes his living. Like a multi-level marketing guru palooza bullshit. It's all it really is. His parents are old ISKCON disciples, but he took sannyas in India from other gurus. He was on the famous Namaras podcast. Yeah, that Namaras was that old lady that was on there. Lusty mom seduced brahmachari dad. That's funny. I know there's so many of these podcasts where they're trying to fix all the brokenness in ISKCON, and they don't understand that you can't fix it from inside. You got to do like I am. You got to get out of it. Because if you're inside of it and you're trying to fix it, you're not really trying to fix anything. You're just trying to give out propaganda. Because if you really wanted to fix it, you have to recognize what's wrong with it. And if you recognize what's wrong with it, you're going to recognize it's a cult. And why are you in a cult? Okay, so I want to get to another video here. I'm done with this guy. I didn't even hear how he got he was born into it. So there's not much more for him. He can't help it. But this guy, this idiot, let's see what he's got to say. Let me see what this guy's got to say here. The Crypt Keeper. Here he is himself, the Crypt Keeper. And make sure his volume is up.
We should be able to recognize nonsense. If someone speaks nonsense, they tell us, yes, it's good to watch cricket matches in the name of devotion.
Oh, believe me, we can tell nonsense when we hear it. All right. You just keep talking. Go ahead.
Service. Or they habitually speak nonsense. Just, for instance, telling a lot of jokes, wisecracks, and a whole talk, just a bunch of wisecracks and things which are very entertaining.
Yeah, they don't like jokes. They don't like jokes. They don't like to be entertained. They just want to sit there and tell their stories and talk about how women suck and women are dumb and like to be raped and have small brains and don't have anything to do with women, and how they're gurus that molest children. Hey, those are some of the sweetest guys you're ever going to meet. These molester guys, but stay away from the women though, because they're nothing but trouble.
Which is nonsense. There's nothing about Krishna. We should, if we have at all actual mercy from a guru, then we should be able to know what is nonsense.
Well, I know you're nonsense. I know that for sure. I don't need to hear any more from you, because I know you're full of shit. And then let's see, what else have we got here? We got this piece of shit. We got this piece of shit right here.
Personality of Godhead, which he adored to hear. In the third canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, leading to this verse, we find the pilgrimage of Vidura. Today we are discussing how he's hearing the topics of Lord Krishna.
Oh, look, there he is. He's a super white Hindu man. He's a super white Hindu man who knows more. He knows more about India and Hinduism and Krishna and everything than all of these Hindus. All these Indians and Hindus there in India, They don't know half the shit he does because he's a white Hindu. He's Dickie Slavin. Dickie Slavin, everybody. He knows more about being a Hindu than all of these Hindus combined. In fact, look at him. He's this Mr. White Hindu, and I'm super Hindu. And never mind that I was in New Vrindavan when the guy got shot, and I was I was right there, and we were all partying and celebrating and having a great time. While murder was being taken, while an innocent devotee was being murdered by our hit team that we sent out from New Vrindavan. But of course, I didn't have nothing to do with that, even though I was the head guy there, and the FBI, was interviewing all of us. Let's not talk about that. I want to talk about and the fact that I was worshiping Kirtanananda, one of the most disgusting people that's ever walked the face. I don't want to talk about all the years that I spent with him, and I was screaming up and down that he was a pure devotee, because what the fuck do I know? I'll say anybody's a pure devotee if it makes me a guru, and I can scam all you people, because that's really what it's all about, is just me scamming everybody. So I'm going to sit here and I'm going to read from these little storybooks and these bedtime stories, and we're going to talk about Vidura. We're going to talk about Vidura, and I'm going to read from this fake, fraudulent book that was written maybe 800 to 1,000 years ago. Although we say it's 5,000 years old, but what the fuck do we know? We don't care. We're just a bunch of liars anyway. So what difference does it make? It just doesn't matter. I'm scamming you, and you're being scammed, and that's what we're really here for, right? Right, everybody? It's just one big scam. Let's see. Yeah. Wait, hanging out with a cart full of books in the Costco parking lot is a prestige thing to do. Yeah, we push those, the DMVs, City College, Venice Beach, Hollywood Boulevard, wherever we can. Didn't they kill the founder of Krishna by giving him finest glass powder so his kidneys failed? I don't know if they did or not, but that probably would have been too good for that piece of shit pedophile. So I really don't care. As long as he's off of this planet, that's all that matters to me. How he left the planet, I really don't give a fuck. As long as he's gone, as long as him and his fucking bullshit is gone. But unfortunately, he left his bullshit behind. So. Saw a bit of a lesson with Jayadvaita Swami this morning on YouTube, and he's intolerant of having women with young children in his class. He sees them as a disturbance. Doesn't seem very spiritual. Yeah, they're not spiritual at all. They don't give a fuck about kids. We know that. They don't give a fuck about women either. Absolutely. Yeah, I don't know, the orange is whatever, you know what? It could be, it doesn't matter. Let's see, what do we got? So we get rid of that dickhead. Okay, so we did that one too. All right, I'm gonna go into the video wheel. I don't know what is coming up, but we're going to see. Oh, here we go. We got something from Rafal. Something. This is going to be a good one. So Dagmar was saying on one of the previous shows about Prabhupada talking about marriage. And what the father has to do if he can't get his daughter married. And so here is Prabhupada, here is what she's talking about. We found it. And let's see if we can find this.
That was arranged by their parents, or they did it themselves?
Yes, by their parents. except in Bengal and other provinces, they do not take much care of the age. Generally, the bridegroom is older. Boy is older than the girl. I was married, he was 11 years old.
11 years old?
Yes. And his wife, my mother-in-law, was 7 years. Dr. Rajendra Prasad, the president, he was married when he was 8 years old.
How old was his wife?
He was sleeping. The marriage party goes to the bride's house. So it was the time fix was at 12 o'clock or 1 o'clock. So the bridegroom was sleeping. So all the men went, oh, get up, now you have to be married, now you get up.
He didn't understand.
He did not know what is marriage. Get up, you have to be married now.
So in such cases, they would live separately though, till they grew older.
Until the girl is 12, 14. So she must be a puberty period. Then,
But still, they know that who they are married to.
oh yes.
So there he says right there, like these guys want to come in and say, no, they're not going to have sex, and they get married young, but they're not going to have sex until they're older. Well, probably just said 12, 14. He said they live separately until they're older. Prabhupada says, yeah, until they're 12, 14, 12, 13, 14.
They don't have any anxiety.
Yeah. Age was at that time 11 years.
And they think it's great. These guys are saying it's great because, you know, they get the man gets their young wife. They don't have to worry about it. They don't have to go find a wife. They don't have to date. They don't have to like have a girlfriend and then propose. They just automatically have a 12-year-old wife. These guys are like, yeah, it sounds great to me. Sounds fine to me.
So she came to live at the age of 13 years. And at 14 years, she gave birth to a child.
How old were you, Prabhupada, when you...
Huh?
How old were you when you got married?
I was student, so we were living separately. When she was 13 years old, after puberty, then she was... But there are many mothers still.
So he just said he was a student in college. He was 22. Well, he married her when she was 11. He was 22. So he's saying she got pregnant when she was 13, had a child when she was 14. So he was 24. He was 24 years old, and she was 13. That's why I say these guys, they lie. They'll lie about, like Knitting Cult Lady said. They'll lie about anything. And a lot of times the lie is not to be believed. It's to prove loyalty. It's like the guy knows that they're not waiting until they're older, but he's going to say it because he has to say it to show that he goes along with this Vedic system. So he's going to come in here and go, no, they're not getting married. First he says it's not. They don't do that. Then when I show him that they do, then he's like, oh, well, I agree with Prabhupada. Then he comes back and says, no, but they're going to wait till they get older. Older like what? 18, 19, 20? No, Prabhupada says right here, he's going to wait a year or two. 12, 13, 14. This is child marriage. This is child marriage. It's really Scientology vibes. It is because L. Ron Hubbard read he didn't I don't know if he read Prabhupada's books, but he definitely read He definitely read Vedic book. He like read the Mahabharata. He probably read the Bhagavad Gita. I don't know if he read Prabhupada's books, but he definitely read Hindu stuff. I can't bear his snaky voice. I know, he gives me PTSD too. So there's that one with the early marriage. So there's Prabhupada with the early marriage. Again, saying early marriage. Red flags everywhere. Absolutely. Red flags everywhere. Red flags everywhere, man. You hit the nail on the head right there. Let me see. What do I got here? I get rid of this. Okay, we got. Oh, here we go. Speaking of child marriage and little girls, we got this guy, of course. I knew it. I have not seen this. Rafael just sent this, but I knew if it was this guy, he's going to be surrounded by a lot of women. A lot of women. Got some young ones there in the front. Some little ones. So this guy and his women, man, he just loves his group of women. Absolutely, he just surrounds himself with that Kiwi. He's like right there, man. He is right there every time. He doesn't care. He doesn't care that we all talk about it. He doesn't care that they talk about it. He doesn't talk about his god brothers, his other gurus in ISKCON talk about him. They don't care at all. He doesn't care. He doesn't care. He's a sannyasi. He's supposed to not have anything to do with women. He's not even supposed to see women. He's supposed to be anyway. This is too funny. This guy. He is, and they love this guy. They love this guy. They love this guy like he's their husband or something. It's it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. Yeah, I don't have any of my books. I left everything behind. I didn't want any of that stuff. I probably should have kept it because I spent a lot of money on that stuff. I could have sold it. All future gangster. Yeah, they're all gonna be miserable Radharani selling bracelets at the Hollywood Bowl. They think he's God's representative. They think he's taking them back to Godhead. I don't know what they think. They are delusional. They are absolutely delusional. Oh my God. I know. Can you just, it is just, it's crazy. This guy he's Tom Jones. He's Tom Jones of ISKCON. He is the Tom Jones of ISKCON. Let's see. We got. Let me see if I get one more. You get one more in here. So transcendental. So transcendental. Yeah, it's so transcendental. When did Prabhupada ever do that? It's just crazy. Here we go. Let's see what's this one. And we're going to finish. Hold on. Let me get this.
सबसे ज्यादा चाइल्ड मैरिजेस रिपोर्ट करने वाला स्टेट, जी हां, अकॉर्डिंग टू द लेटेस्ट डेटा फ्रॉम द सैंपल रजिस्ट्रेशन सिस्टम SRS, about 6.3% of girls in West Bengal get married before the age of 18, the highest in the country. Despite schemes like Kanya Shri, this problem remains serious in both rural as well as urban areas. At the national level, only 2.1% of females marry before 18, which shows improvement. But in states like West Bengal, the struggle is still far from over. The top 3 states after West Bengal with the highest cases of child marriages are Bihar, Uttar Pradesh and Maharashtra. Data from Lancet study and SRS shows that these 4 states together account for more than half of India's child marriages. The government needs to take stronger steps such as improving education and awareness so that young girls can fulfill their dreams instead of being forced into early marriage. अब आप हमें कमेंट सेक्शन में बताइए कि आपके अकॉर्डिंग इंडिया का कौन सा स्टेट है जहां चाइल्ड मैरिजेस सबसे कम होती हैं.
So interesting that Uttar Pradesh, where Vrindavan is, Mathura, and what was the other one? Bihar and Maharashtra are the highest in India for child marriage, and those are very much ISKCON. They have a big presence in those areas. ISKCON has a big presence in all of those 3 areas. Yeah, we're just about at the end there. That was my last one. So I just wanted to do this thing about these ISKCON Gurus are the ones that are spreading this child marriage through their lectures, through their teachings, through this Prabhupada stuff. Where are these young men getting this idea that they can have a young wife, that child marriage is brilliant, that it's Vedic, that this is what needs to happen? This is absolutely, this is like the lady said, so much has to be done. The national average is 2%, but in these other states where ISKCON has a big, is predominantly doing their preaching and has always been doing a lot of preaching in those areas, they have a higher rate of child marriage, and West Bengal as well. So justice for little girls. Say no to child marriage. Yeah, a lot. Yeah, they also push child marriage as well. But I'm trying to, a lot of people know about that. A lot of people don't know that ISKCON is pushing child marriage. A lot of people just don't know. A lot of people in ISKCON don't know. A lot of new people come into ISKCON and they don't know. And then after they're brainwashed into it, they just go along with it. Like that guy, like that Jog Jivo or that Harry, whatever the guy came in here. Right, exactly. Like the guy that came in here. And he's like, show me, prove it to me, show me, prove it to me.
Is the whole world gone crazy? Am I the only one around here who gives a shit about the rules?
Then when you show it to them, they go, well, I agree with Prabhupada. Because they're already brainwashed in. Like Knitting Cult Lady said, once they got you believing demon heads eating the moon, and they got you believing all this other stuff, and they're going to get you to believe that grown men can have a 12-year-old wife. And these guys are on the internet promoting it and saying, yeah, child marriage is great. Child marriage is great. It's insanity. That's what this cult is doing. That's what this cult is doing. Yeah, and that's one of that's the reason why I'm speaking out, because I think a lot of people don't know. A lot of people just don't know. And people say, well, Mike's crazy. No, I'm showing you videos. I'm showing you videos on the internet where they're talking about it. Lectures, where conversations where Prabhupada is teaching it, where Prabhupada is saying it. All of this stuff. It's not me. I'm not making it up. This is for real. This is real stuff really happening. It's really happening. And these gurus are teaching it. Why aren't they coming out and telling these guys, no, you don't, that's child marriage is wrong. Not one of these gurus will come out and say that child marriage is wrong. Because they believe that they're all in on it. Again, I'm going to challenge any one of these gurus to come on here and say that it's wrong, or say it's wrong anywhere. Say it's wrong anywhere. They just won't do it. They just will not do it. Yeah. Say no to brainwashing cults. Say no to brainwashing cults. So I want to thank everybody that's here today. Everybody, Operation Crossroads and Greg 7249 and my moderator Eliana and Weird Planet and Fake Human and everybody. Rafal sending in the videos. My daughter Beige. Glad that you're here.
Are we clear? Yes, sir. Are we clear?
Yes, we're clear. So I want to just thank everybody, Liam and Dagmar, and thanks for the quote, Dagmar and Don Pearson and Fake Human. Of course, it's never the same when Fake Human's not here. You gotta love that Fake Human. And so everybody, I want to just thank everybody. If I missed your name, I'll get you twice on the next time. What is your worldview now? My worldview? I don't really have one. I don't go by a worldview. I don't go by a worldview. Yes, class is over. Ding. Everybody have a great day, great night, great morning, great afternoon, great evening, and have some great luck, everybody. Please tell everybody you know no child marriage. You're not down with a child marriage. Justice for little girls. Thank you. Love you too. It's awesome when you're here. I can't tell you how awesome it is. Stay frosty. Everybody, thanks for dealing with my green screen and everything. And everybody, and Beige, my daughter Beige, here is me when I was once a Hare Krishna a long time ago. Thanks, everybody.